Hello, welcome back. This is Crystal here from Crystal Clear Coaching. Today we are on the 20th of January and we are tuning in to us. My habit for the month, my new habit is uploading here daily. I attempted to have many more habits and I will continue to attempt to have many more habits, but showing up here is the key one. So today I want to talk about viewing others with the lens of believing in their best and highest good for themselves, as coded by their perspective, as seen and felt in all the senses, and heard through their unique perspective, instead of our perspective of what we think would or might be good for them. Only they can know what's best for them, as only you can know what's best for you, and I can only know what's best for me. And we do love in this society to go around pointing fingers and telling people that we know better. And sometimes we might have a really great suggestion that if they're willing to be open to taking, it might actually really help them. But it's got to go through their lens, have them choose it first in order for it to become something that becomes valuable to them. So that doesn't mean advice isn't helpful, because of course it is. But there's plenty of what you'd call bad advice that's probably been given to you over the years, I'm sure. And there is plenty of good advice that you didn't take. So, there's something within you that chose not to take that advice for whatever reason. And, that's okay, whether it would have really helped you if you'd taken it or not. Like, we're here now. You didn't take it. Maybe it's a situation where you could still choose to take it at any given moment. And if that's the case and you feel into it and you're like, you know what, I think that would be really good for me. And you know what, the things that felt maybe like the bad shadow side to that, I think I'm going to power through them. Or I'm going to look at why that feels scary to me, or, boring, or whatever is coming up for you. And just think, well, is doing that worth the payoff of then having the thing that I'll get at the end of taking that good advice? So, yeah. And most importantly, you've got to look at yourself and see yourself through the lens of what is your best and highest interest, and you're the one that gets to discern that. And you might have a life that looks really wonderful on the surface. Like, to anyone outside looking in, they would think you've got the perfect life or a wonderful life. But they don't know the day-to-day of how that feels. And if it doesn't feel good, at least, it's never going to feel good 100% of the time. But if it doesn't feel good majority of the time, that's something you don't need to choose to live with for the rest of your life. You can choose to make changes. And if this feels like heavy, if you are going through something like this right now, again, I just invite you to bring in curiosity. So, how could you be curious about why it feels hard or dark, or there's no other option? There's always an option. Sometimes the other option is just not great, or it feels not great, or it's just so unknown how it would pan out that it's just scary. And our system, which is coded for survival, thus coded for safety, just says, well, that's not safe. So whenever you try to take a step in that direction, your system, if you don't catch it consciously, will tell you, no, that's not okay, we can't do that, we've got to run from this. We've got to freeze for this. We got to fight about this. We got a fawn. That's the other one. So flight, fight, freeze, and fawn. Ways we can react when we're triggered. And yeah, anything that feels uncomfortable to our system doesn't necessarily mean that it's not the right step forward. In fact, like, the people that do the most growth work, that get the most out of life, are the ones that choose to be uncomfortable most of the time. You don't, build... I mean, I was about to say empire, but that feels just a little too capitalism-centric. But you don't build a community following... like, say you were someone who wants to get your name out there as an actor, and so that's a career you really do need to be seen in. And yeah, if in order to step towards that, there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable moments to build towards the point where you can then I'm just putting a light on there for you because it was getting dark. Let's see. Will it balance? We will see. There we go. That's better. So, yeah. So if you're an actor, in order to build a following, build a community around you and your work, there's a lot of uncomfortable moments you have to have. If you're an actor that has romantic scenes, for instance, like, that's pretty uncomfortable. Being in front of a crew, like even a small crew, you're still going to have at least probably 20 or 30 crew around when it comes to like cameras and lighting and audio, and then like bare minimum costume and makeup and hair, and then any other actors and the director and the director of photography. Like, here's my film nerd coming out. But you're still going to have a decent whack of people, even on what we call a closed set in film, that you're going to have to be uncomfortably around when you're having either a nude scene or like a semi-nude scene, a simulated sex scene. And that is bloody uncomfortable. But maybe that's the rom-com role of your dreams, and that's what really is going to put you out there in the world. And you're probably really uncomfortable in the whole lead up to training for that scene too. If it's all the movie executives and producers have decided that you need to go to the gym a bunch before the scene, you might have been training for months and months and months before that to look like perfect, because it's all curated. We make everything look exactly how we want it to in film, down to, somebody training their body. So, like, that's bloody uncomfortable, Then, you might really love the training, and maybe you view it more through a lens of enjoyment. Or maybe you hate every second of it, but you do it because that's what's going to get you to that movie star status that you're looking for, Just an example. I know actors aren't the most exciting example in this day and age, but I just mean, it's a big way to be seen, and yeah, it takes anyone that you might look at going on the red carpet on a frequent basis and you think their life's so glamorous and they must have so much money. It's actually like frequently not the truth. Yes, there are really big stars that have lots, but it's not that black and white, and you just don't know what's happened behind the scenes, who's been on their team that maybe wasn't properly part of their team, and did some dodgy stuff that led to them not having their finances. Like, case in point is Alison Stoner, who was a Disney child star. She was in Camp Rock, and she was also in a Missy Elliott video quite early on, and she's a legend. And she, was a child star, and she had people managing her finances that were taking cuts of their own, and she when she became a young adult, found out that they'd basically been stealing from her that whole time, and to the point that like the money was gone. She'd worked her entire life as a kid, no small amount, at a lot of self-sacrifice, but also sacrifice for her family and everything. And yeah, like the money was gone, and then she realised that she, was doing all these uncomfortable things because of her mum's dream, and it wasn't even her dream. She's got a book that just came out in the past year, semi-well adjusted despite literally everything, and she's gone beautifully into the mental health and physical health kind of realms. She's got this company called Movement Genius now that she helps people, find healing for themselves, essentially. That's how I view it. She or they, I think she takes both pronouns. I hope I'm right on that one. But wonderful, wonderful person. And she went through a lot of discomfort to get to the point that she is now actually in a space where she's running something, a community that really helps people heal, and it's helped her. Like, it's through her learning all that stuff for herself that I'm sure that she decided to step into it and share it with the world. My point is, we have to get uncomfortable in order to build anything. Like, it would have been really uncomfortable for her to realise that despite working for so long, she'd lost a whole bunch of her money, and that it was to do with family. Also, I think her mother might have been involved in her funds not being looked after well, and her mum had been involved in keeping her dad away from her, even though basically saying her dad was a bad guy when he actually wasn't. It was all lies, and so then she didn't see her dad for much of her childhood, and it's just to have that moment of realizing all these people that you thought you could trusted can't be trusted. Even if there are people that can be trusted, you start to question that because you thought you could trust these other people. And it's a very uncomfortable situation to have that all come down on you when your money's also apparently running out, when you didn't realise that was even close to happening. So then to have to build yourself back up from that, kind of rock bottom place, it's bloody uncomfortable. So, yeah. I went off on a tangent. That's pretty standard for me. So, what we were talking about is believing in the best and highest. I mean, for yourself, first and foremost, I want you to believe in your best and highest, because if you don't do it, no one else is going to do it for you. I mean, people can, but it's never going to be as potent as you believing in your best and highest. And it's wonderful to have a hype crew around you that believe in it, that help you believe in it yourself. But again, that's coming externally in your best to fill yourself up internally first. And plus, you're the one that can sit down, have a quiet moment, tune in with yourself. What do I need right now? What do I need right now? If I stop all the noise, what is actually my truth in this moment? What do I need right now? Great thing to do on a frequent basis. And then if you can believe in your best and highest, can you see that? Can you hold space for people to believe in their own best and highest, or believe in the best and highest for them? But also, how can you detach from the expectations, the outcome that you might have projected onto that person that may or may not be their truth for what's in their best and highest, which only they can really discern for themselves. It really all comes back to self-sovereignty, like us, being a sovereign being of ourselves. Yeah. So, as a coach, I need to believe in the best and highest of my clients. So if you don't even believe that there are people around you that would see you for your best and highest, well, that's great noticing. I'd be curious to think, what are ways you could cultivate more people in your life that are going to see you in your best and highest? Maybe it's joining some personal development groups, or like a women's circle or a men's circle. I don't know who's here. whoever you are, just a circle. A people's connection circle. What could you do in order to, sometimes it is best to talk to people that don't know you, because you don't have all that baggage of the past, of that time you did something you weren't that proud of, and like that's all clouding the conversation and them believing in the best and highest for you. But yeah, as a coach, I have to believe in the best and highest of all my clients, and honestly, I do my best to believe in it for everyone in the world. And I'm not going to say that I'm perfect at it, because there's definitely at least a couple of politicians out there lately that I just would love for their best and highest to come out. They'll be great, actually, if the best and highest for the good of, the world. That would be great. I think it's the opposite of that coming out lately. But hey, here we are. But yeah, and like even before I was a coach, honestly, I just always believed everyone else was capable of what they wanted to go for, and I think that helped me step into being a coach. But, I'm not going to say I was perfect either, because, we are so taught to judge in this society. And sometimes there is a good place for judgment, like maybe you just need an opinion in order to pick an outfit to get out of the house. Or, maybe you are really trying to refine something that you've worked really hard on. Maybe you've got a performance and you need someone to tell you where you're going wrong, but also where you're going right. And, it's just all part of the practice. And then, eventually you'll have a really beautifully refined performance to put on. But yeah, can you see, someone you're dating, your partner, do you truly believe in their best and highest? As discerned by them? And do they believe in yours for you, as discerned by you? And if they don't, are you really aligned to be together? Again, please, I invite you to look at this with curiosity, because I know I can say some pretty blunt things that could be really triggering if you're in the wrong spot. But I say it with kindness. Isn't it better that you find out sooner so you can do something about it and work towards what will truly feel wonderful to your system, your mind, body, soul, your spirit? It truly light you up, truly excite you about life, not just feel like drudgery of another day. And they didn't do their dishes again, and I feel like they're slave, or whatever is coming up for you. I'm just throwing out some there. Yeah, if you can't believe in the best and highest of the person that you're with, that you've chosen to be your partner, and they don't believe in yours, are they truly your partner? Just saying. Anyway, didn't mean to get that confronting, but maybe I did, because maybe I just want you to find your best and highest sooner and Sometimes that means having to rip the band-aid off faster. Anyway, I very much invite you, like, if it's too confronting to look at others with their best and highest just yet, look at your own, see where you are now, see where you've been in the past if you've improved, but also see in the future, what would you like to step into? Where would you like to be kinder to yourself? What's the jump that feels like too much, or like it's not possible for you to get from where you are to where you want to be, with believing that you are worthy and capable of reaching that best and highest version of yourself that you feel so deeply that you want or need. Honor your needs, honor your wants. Your desires are there for a reason. Anyway, I will leave it there for today, but much love, and yeah, please reach out if any of these questions ever get too confronting. I'd love to have a chat. I'm really great at a voice note over Instagram. That's at Crystal Clear Coaching on Instagram, or just at Crystal Tottenham, and that's Crystal Crystel, Tottenham Tottenham, like the football team. But yeah, much love, and be your best and highest self, girlfriend and boyfriend and people friends.